You know, if you've been wondering what's coming up for you over the next couple of months, no worries, my sea hearts. Let's see what my cards have to say. So, this is your tarot reading for April into May with me, Cesmina, here on Cesmina Tarot. This reading is for Taurus, Sun, Moon, and Rising. As always, this is a collective reading, so take what resonates and leave the rest. So, we're going to start with your love life. The next three cards look at different areas of your love life: new love, existing love, and no contact situations. So, just pick whichever one applies to you. New love is first. This card looks at new connections, new people, and the potential for love in April and May. And if you want a deeper look into the next person coming into your life, you can also check out my You and Your Next Love readings on this channel. You have the Nine of Wands. Okay, so Taurus. Feeling a little wary of love right now. Okay. So, some bad breakups, some toxic exes, maybe, or maybe even some bad first dates recently. I'm getting that as well. Because your guard is up right now. You're not completely closed off, but you're not totally open to love either. You're somewhere in between those two energies. You're definitely not taking things at face value anymore. You're not going for the first person that you meet. You're being very selective in love right now. You're saving your time and your energy until you feel like it's worth it. Okay, let me see what else I can see here. So, as for who is coming in for you, it could actually be their energy that I'm picking up on, because for them, I'm getting that they've been through a lot romantically too. I'm seeing them putting a lot of faith into connections that ended up fizzling out when they thought it was going somewhere. So, honestly, I see you attracting someone who's done with the bullshit, who's exhausted from being led on, from putting their faith in people that have ultimately let them down. So it's like your energy is attracting someone who feels exactly the same way about love as you do. You're both coming in with this energy of don't waste my time. Either there's a spark or there isn't. Very matter of fact about it. Which is weird, because I do see that you in particular, you've got a lot of love to give, and I think this person does too. I feel like both of you have been waiting a really long time to find someone who's on your level, who's on the same page as you. As for how you might meet this person, I do truly think it's because of your new attitude, you having your guard up and not entertaining love unless it feels like it's going somewhere. I do think that's how you end up meeting this person. And I see you explaining what you want in a relationship to this person and then being like, me too. You know, I feel that way as well. So you have matching morals with this person, matching attitudes. So I do think this will be a slow burn relationship, only because you're both being very careful with your hearts and your energy. So keep an eye out for that in April and May, Taurus. That's where I see love coming in for you. Let's move on and get your next card now. We're going to look at existing love now. This card looks at romantic connections that are already in your life, someone you're dating, someone you're in a relationship with, or someone where feelings already exist. And if you'd like a deeper look into this connection, you can also check out my You and Them readings on this channel. You have the Five of Wands. Okay, Five of Wands. All right, so Taurus. Things are feeling a little tense between you and your person here in April and May. Why is that? So it feels to me like you two are going to be talking about something or doing something that you both have very strong opinions about, very different views. And I don't think either of you really want to fight, but you do disagree on this subject. So I think something starts off as like a normal conversation, but then I feel like this might be very difficult for you and your person. I feel like you're very similar otherwise, but this thing, basically, you both think that you're right. You think you're right, they think you're right, and both of you have really strong opinions and you're sticking to them. So this feels to me like how you do something. That's what I feel like you two have a different view about, is how you do something, the right way to do something. Um, it could be your relationship. It could be that, how you think you two should move forward. Um, Maybe they think the opposite, or it feels like the opposite to you. So yeah, I do see both of you being like, well, that's my opinion and I'm sticking to it. Trying to explain your side, trying to convince each other that your way is best. So some tension here. And I think that's because neither of you want to compromise. You both think you're right. So April and May, to me, this is like a test for your relationship. This is to see if your relationship can last, if it can stand through conflict, if you two can get through an argument, if you can agree to disagree. And where that isn't an option, where you can't just agree to disagree, this is a test to see if you can compromise for each other and for your relationship and the future of your relationship. So I will wish you luck there, Taurus. We're going to go to your next card now. This card is no contact. This card looks at someone you're not currently speaking to, someone where communication has stopped, or someone where things have become distant. And if you want a deeper look into this situation, especially where things could go from here, you can also check out my you and your ex readings on this channel. You have the Magician. Okay, no contact for Taurus and the Magician. So this person, your no contact person, isn't reaching out right now. Not in an obvious way, anyway. I think they've got too much pride for that. But I do think they're trying to get your attention. But it's subtle. It's like the sort of thing that you can't swear to. Like, you can't swear that it's directed at you, but it feels like it. So I'm thinking Instagram posts and stories. That's what I'm thinking. That feel like they're for you, and you're like, is that for me, or am I just seeing what I want to see or hearing what I want to hear? Honestly, Taurus, I don't think you're mistaken here. I do think you're right. This person feels like, it feels to me like they're on socials all the time. Like, it's almost, if anyone were to ask you where they were at this exact moment, you'd be like, well, they're a socials addict. Let me just check their Instagram and you would be able to see where they are. That's what this feels like to me. And what's weird is that I got a message like this last month, or maybe even the month before. And that message was something about your ex trying to get your attention because they'd managed to get some kind of addiction or something under control. And they wanted you to see, not anyone else, you. They want your attention. They want your approval. Was that you, Taurus? Because I feel like that message applies here. It's the sort of energy where they struggled with something. It could have even been why you two broke up. It could be what caused this no contact. It could have just pushed you two apart when you were together. But now they've got it under control and they want you to see. They want you to know about it. They want to know that you know about it. They want to know, like, they check to see if you viewed their story or their posts, whatever. You know, they do look for your name. And I know what you're thinking, they're just showing off. And don't get me wrong, they are. But it's not spiteful. It's not like, oh, take a look, you know, see what you lost. It's not that. It's like, look, I did it. I listened to you. I value your opinion. I want your attention. I want you to see me. And I feel kind of emotional saying that. That energy is, it's like they're saying you were right and I was wrong and I fixed it now. And I feel like this constant posting is to try and get you to make the first move. So I will leave that there, Taurus, because that is completely your call. Let's get your next card. So now we're going to look at the rest of your life. The next 4 cards look at your family, your friendships, your work, and your money. We're going to start with family. This card looks at your family relationships and what's going on there in April and May. You have strength. Strength and family. Okay, so this is like something needs to be ready and it needs to be ready on time. That's the energy I'm getting. I'm definitely getting time pressure here. So I don't know if you and your family have like a family business. Doesn't have to be. It's just what this energy is making me think of. So if you don't already know what this is referring to, it does feel to me like the kind of thing that's been in the works for a while. It could just be that the date of something is set in April and May, and after that it's like full steam ahead. It's making me think of a wedding as well, actually. Again, it doesn't have to be, but that's what it will be like. That's like a reference, you know, plans being made, things being set in motion, things being organized. And whatever this is, it's going to take a lot of work. And there's time pressure. So even though I do see you and your family freaking out a bit here, this is you needing to keep a cool head, okay? Keeping calm under pressure. And I think you might find that you have to be the one to do that in April and May, Taurus. You might have to be the calm one here when everyone else is freaking out about the time, the event, the visit, the deadline, whatever it is. I do think you're going to be the one keeping your family balanced throughout that, balanced and chill in April and May, while all of you are getting ready for something. But don't worry, you can do it. I think that's it for this one. Let's get your next card now. Next card is friends. This card looks at your friendships, new and old, and what's happening within your social circle in April and May. You have the Ace of Swords. Okay, so Taurus, we have an ace as your friendship card. That means that you're probably going to make a new friend in April or May. So let's see if we can't describe them. This person is going to be very direct. Could be an air sign, so Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius. But yeah, I'm seeing them being very direct, very straightforward. They say what's on their mind. So I think at first that might catch you off guard. They might be a bit much at first, but after that, I'm seeing you two really hitting it off. And this is someone who you can relate to really easily. I think they can relate with a lot of people. I think they know a lot about a lot. I think they talk a lot. Something that's coming through here is that this person is very up on trends. So TikToks, memes, things like that. And they're very opinionated too, but not in a bad way. I think it might actually be kind of refreshing to you. So I see this person walking up to you and being like, did you see this TikTok? Did you see it? And I thought it was really dumb. So they're like very straight to the point. Let me see what else I can see here. Yeah, I feel like this person is going to make a real impact. They have some main character energy, definitely. But there's something else here about your current friends and you finding something out about them. And I feel like it's connected or because of this new person. It's like you find out a secret or something like that. Let me see. How can I explain this? It's okay. It's like, when you've known someone a really long time and you're really close, but because of that, you can't always see the truth. And, the truth can be good or bad, like, don't panic. But because you're so close to them, you can't see it. Sometimes because you don't want to see it. I do see you finding out something shocking. That's what I think this is. I don't think this is good or bad. I don't think this secret is good or bad, but I do think it's shocking. It's something you would never have thought of. It's something you would have never guessed. And it's something that only someone outside of your circle can see. But once that person points it out, it's like obvious and you're like, oh my God. I never would have thought that they'd do that or they'd say that or they'd be into that, or it's like that sort of energy, but not good or bad, Taurus. It's just shocking, okay? Finding out a shocking secret. I hope that I explained that one okay, Taurus. That message was a little bit tricky. Let's move on and get your next card now. We're going to look at work now. This card looks at your job, your work environment, and what's going on in your working life in April and May. You have the King of Cups. Okay, so interesting, Taurus. It's less about work in April and May and more about your colleagues, your clients, the people you work with, your people skills. So I feel like your work is routine to you right now. You know what you're doing, you know how to do your job well, and it shows. But because it shows, because you're known to be good at your job, people around you are going to feel able to come to you and ask for help. I don't think it's about their job. I'm going to be honest, not the practical side of it anyway. This feels to me like someone coming to you with an emotional problem. Someone, or I don't know, maybe a couple of people are seeking you out in April and May for a shoulder to cry on. So I do see you being a bit of a therapist at work in these months. I do. I feel like you're trusted at work. You're seen as very capable and very understanding. So I do think you're going to have to keep your eyes peeled for whoever this is. I do feel like they know that they can come to you, but there's this unsure energy of they know you could help and they know that you'd want to help, but it's like they don't want to trouble you with it. So keep your eyes peeled for someone who tries to keep the conversation going a little longer with you, who maybe seems a little off, a little on edge, and maybe just throw a, how are you feeling? How are you doing? Are you all right? Just a gentle nudge. Just I know something's up with you. The door's open if you need it. And Taurus, you're known at work as somebody who won't overreact. I think whoever this person should take this issue to, they think that they will overreact. So you're like the safer option in April and May. And I think it's important, Taurus, that you know that you're in control here. Like I said, this person knows that they can come to you. They just don't want to put you out, which is interesting because we saw some pressure on you in your family. You're also the one that your family goes to as well. So I'm just quickly going to remind you that before we move on, of that control, only ask this person if they're okay. Only open that door if you feel like you can carry that as well, okay? Don't take on more than you can handle. I know that you've got a big heart, but don't overload yourself, okay? Let's move on to your next card. We're on money now. This card looks at your financial situation in April and May, income, spending, and overall stability. You have the Page of Pentacles. Okay, so there's something here, Taurus, that you're thinking about it. You haven't done it yet, but you're thinking about it. Some kind of investment, so something like a course, something that could improve your skill set, maybe for work, maybe not, maybe just for you. It could be something that would bring in more money for you, or maybe it's, I don't know, just something that other people call an investment. And what's the other way to say it? A considered purchase. But whatever this is, you're not jumping straight into it. You're thinking about it. That's what you're saying to anyone who asks, I'm thinking about it. Not really sure. I just heard don't rush me. So I think you want to look a bit more into this. You want to know the pros and cons of this. You want to weigh this up. You want to shop around, maybe, see about other offers or other options. So I see you checking pages here, checking the price, reading descriptions, reading the fine print too. You're like, is this really as good as it looks, or is there a catch? So you do want this. It does look good to you, but there's just something here telling you to wait and see, to not rush into this and think about it a little bit longer. And Taurus, don't be bullied or pushed into anything here. I think you already know that. I'm just telling you that your intuition is right here, because I think there's a better deal here, or you at least need to let this sit for a while and see what happens. So don't jump in yet. There's no harm in waiting here, okay? Let's get your next card. All right, so based on everything we've just seen, we can already see where most of your energy is going, what's taking up your time, your focus, and your attention. So now let's take a look at how all of this is actually playing out for you in April and May. We're going to get your current energy first, though. So what's going on at the moment, Taurus? The Hierophant. Okay. Taurus, I feel like right now you're just trying to keep yourself on track. You're trying to keep your routine. So I feel like you're being very strict with yourself. You've got a plan for the day and you commit to that. You make sure everything that you need to do gets done. So this could be things like getting up earlier than usual, having certain times for certain things, so that you can fit all into one day. Yeah, I feel like you're very aware of the time right now. So you check your phone or your watch a lot to make sure that you don't fall behind. Make sure that you still have time in the day to do what you have to do. And this makes a lot of sense to me because we saw some time pressure, something important causing some stress in your family life. We saw that people are seeking you out at work for some emotional support. We saw a big decision about money as well, um, and also some tension and stress in your love life too. So there's a lot of people that need your attention, Taurus. And I think that's why you're trying to stick to your routine. I think that's why you're being so strict and so intentional about it, because there's a lot going on and it could slip if you let it. Um, and you could also feel like you need that sense of control that comes from sticking to a routine to help you with any emotional burnout that you may be hiding. Let's take a look and see how this is changing in April now. So, what's going on in April? You have the Eight of Pentacles. Okay, so you'll be relieved to hear this, Taurus. In April, so mid April or late April, you're going to feel less overwhelmed and more like the worst is over. Things feel much more manageable for you here. Don't get me wrong, you're still busy. You've still got a lot going on in a lot of different places, but it's not as chaotic or as stressful as it has been. I can't tell if it's because you've actually got a little less going on than you do right now, or if you've just got used to how much is going on. I can't tell, but either way, you're feeling like the worst is over. You're feeling like you can relax a little bit now because you know that you can handle whatever's coming up because you handled it when there was a lot. So let me see if there's anything else in this card. It could also be if you've been preparing for something and waiting for that day to come and worrying that everything would go wrong or you wouldn't be able to do it. It's not going to be as bad as you thought it was. I think maybe right now your stress is doing the talking instead of your logic because you're feeling a little overwhelmed here. Because when the time actually comes, you're like, okay, this isn't as bad as I thought. This is going much better than I thought it would. Let's see what else. Like I said, it doesn't mean things are easier. It just means that you're handling it a lot better. Maybe it is because you're used to it. With practice, we can do things a lot quicker than we did before, because we practice them. If it's not that, you've lived through the worst by the end of April, and you're feeling much more relaxed than I think you do right now. Let's I think that's it for this card. Let's get your next one now. So this is what's happening in May. You have the Seven of Pentacles. Okay, so the Seven of Pentacles, Taurus in May. So I feel like all of these things that you have to do at the moment, all of these plates that you have spinning, they're not optional. They're non-negotiable. Like, you have to do them. You can't give these things to anyone else. You can't put them off. You can't delay them. So I think that might be why you're hiding how stressed it's making you feel, because it's just what you have to do. But in May, I see you looking at what you've done, what tasks you've completed, what jobs you've done, what things you can cross off your list, and seeing what your limits are, looking back on the past couple of months and trying to pinpoint where you felt overwhelmed, where everything became too much for you. Um, and I see you looking into ways to make life a little easier for yourself. Yeah, it's this awareness of I can't do that much again, not all at once. You know, I'll need longer, I'll need more notice, I'll need extra resources or more people. I'll have to start saying no, maybe too. So it's really a month where you accept that you can't do it all, Taurus. You can't handle this much pressure again. I mean, sure, you got through it, and yes, you did a good job, but could you do it again? Would you even want to do these things again this way? Those are the questions. Those are the kinds of questions I see you asking yourself in May. Like, what would I do differently next time? What improvements and what changes would I make? So I'm going to pull one more card for you, Taurus. This is what you need to know right now. This card shows what you should keep in mind as you move through April and May. You have the Two of Swords. Two of Swords. Okay, so Taurus, I feel like what you need to know right now is that you're not just tired, you're not just stressed, you're overwhelmed. You can't do it all. Maybe you could before, but I feel like you've moved into a different place emotionally. I don't think you feel the same way about things as you used to. I do think that's changed recently, and you have just been too busy to notice. I feel like showing up for you, showing up as you usually do, feels like a lot more effort than it used to. And I think you're telling yourself that you're fine, that it's just been a lot lately, that you maybe just need some more sleep. But you do know it's more than that. You do. Deep down, you do. You know that something needs to change, that you can't keep doing this much, that it's too much for you. And Taurus, there's no shame in that. It's just that you're a different person than you used to be. You know, maybe the old you could do all of this, but you right now can't. You right now needs a break. You need to regroup. You need to make a couple of changes. You need a rebrand almost. You need some me time, okay? You need to, yeah, really take some time for yourself and figure out what the new version of you needs. Wow, things got a bit heavy there, Taurus. I think that's all I see here for you. I think that's all that's coming through, so I'm going to leave it there. I hope this gave you something to think about. I hope it helped you in some way. But for now, I will see you in my next reading. Take care.